stunning looks than swift.
Thank you so much for joining us on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Days. We're building up to Australia versus Netherlands. The first time these two teams are taking on each other in 16 years in ODI cricket. This game is going to be played out at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi. And joining me in the studio to talk about this game are Shane Bond and Cheteshwar Pujara. Gentlemen, good to see you as always. Getting straight into Aussie team news. And they're saying Travis Head in all likelihood walks back. He's looking good, he's recovered. And if he walks back into that 11, Shane, firstly, who goes out in his place?
Probably Marnus Labuschagne. The talk is that Head will come straight back into the opening position, which means knock-on effect, Marsh to 3, Smith to 4. Poor old Marnus gets knocked out the back door. So, look, Steve Smith's their best batsman, but he hasn't been scoring runs. But I'd be expecting that they'd keep him in that order and give him the most opportunities they can to get back into form for us.
But isn't it very Aussie-like that if you're not performing, you might be the biggest name there? Please go out.
I think Marnus would have to have done something spectacular to hold his place, and he's been good, but he hasn't been spectacular. So you're gonna pick your best one-day player.
The other end of it, sorry.
I agree to what he's saying, but just in terms of their opening combination, I would still prefer David Warner and Mitch Marsh to open, because if you look at Netherlands team, they have been opening with Aryan Dutt, who has been, pretty good bowler.
Yeah.
Two left-handers, I think it's a great matchup for him. So I would rather prefer a right-hander over there.
That means Mitch Marsh would stay at the opening.
Travis Head comes in at number 3
Smith
and
at number 4.
Yeah, Steve Smith.
So even you're not thinking of Stephen Smith going out because Marnus Labuschagne, he might have laboured his way through this World Cup.
Yeah.
When you compare him to Stephen Smith, I know the experience is very different. But runs, no runs.
Well, Steve Smith hasn't scored too many runs in this World Cup, but if you look at his one-day record, which is really, really better than Marnus Labuschagne, and that's where I think you need to back a player like him, who has done remarkable job for the team for so many years, and not just in one-day format but across formats. So I think Steve Smith will be there, and he deserves that backing as well.
And Shane, what does Travis Head coming into this lineup give you as far as the batting is concerned?
Well, he's a very positive player, and he's been one of Australia's best batsmen over the last 12, 18 months, more in the test format, but he's made a good fist of the opening position as well. He gives them another spin bowling option with some right-arm spin, which is always handy for Australia back in the back end of the tournament. But it's always a risk. You're coming into some important games with someone who's been out for a period of time.
Yeah.
I know he's a good player, but I suppose the flip side is he will bat at the easiest time to bat, probably when the ball's nice and hard, the fielders are up. So it gives him a chance to get into the tournament. And probably the Netherlands, no disrespect to the Netherlands, but playing the Netherlands is a nice place to start. Yeah. If this was a big game against South Africa, maybe Australia might have looked at it and gone, we'll run with the same side.
And that too in Delhi, which has looked good for batting.
It'll be a good pitch to bat on, and I think the way Travis Head bats, I think what will happen is it'll be easier for David Warner as well, because both of them normally look to go hard against the bowlers, and it'll be interesting to see how they start, but I think it'll be a pretty high scoring if both of them get going. And
what have you made of Netherlands batting, especially that top order, which 91 for 6, then they sort of resurrected their way back into that, so that lower order is working. But that top order, is that where you
I think that is an area of concern for Netherlands, because if you look at most of the games, they haven't started well, but their lower middle order has contributed. So I'm sure they would have spoken about it, but looking at the Australian bowling lineup, especially at Delhi, I think they'll be looking at this and they would definitely try and exploit that.
Just spend as much time as you can as far as the Netherlands batting unit is concerned. Forget the score, forget that total. Spend time out there.
It's pretty tough. I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 of their top players who don't play first-class cricket or haven't played first-class cricket, and you're going to come up against Josh Hazlewood, Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins as the front 3. So it's understandable why they've struggled. And once the ball's got a little bit older, to their credit, they've fought really well and put really competitive totals on the board. I've been super impressed by the Netherlands. I think they've played good, consistent cricket. But I'm not expecting that top order to blossom against the Australian fast bowling attack, to be fair.
So you're going Australia for the prediction, for the win?
Yeah, I think Australia will overpower the Netherlands. I think they'll win comfortably.
The Aussies are back.
Yeah, I agree that they'll win, but what they will be looking at is the net run rate. I think especially against Netherlands, Australia would want to get their net run rate going. And I mean, they are obvious favourites for this game, but the thing which they want to work on, and they definitely want to get their net run rate up and going.
Yep. Shane Cheteshwar, thank you so much for joining us. Before we leave you, let's just remind you, if you've downloaded the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app, make sure you can download it. You'll get all sorts of things, articles, commentary. You'll have various different languages telling you about the game that's happening. That's called the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app. You're watching Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.
Stunning looks, then swift,